their God-given potential. This is the future my father is working to build each and every day.
Though privileged from birth, Ivanka Trump independently earned the wealth and fortune she is lavished with today. The former senior advisor and first daughter of the United States has shown that hard work should still be maintained, although privileged. How did she become the billionaire she is today? Let us look at Ivanka and her billionaire lifestyle. Not just a billionaire. Ivanka Trump has not only known privileges, but has been in one since she was born. Born into a wealthy family was one thing. Being the United States of America's first daughter was another. Yet, she is so much more than a president's daughter. Ivanka has always been interested in politics. This interest may have sprouted from her father's long-term interest and influence in politics, even before he became president. From the young age of 26, she has been involved in politics one way or another. During the presidential campaign of then-Senator Hillary Clinton, she donated $1,000 and even endorsed Mitt Romney's presidential campaign in 2012. 3 years later, Donald Trump, Ivanka's father, began his presidential campaign. Ivanka publicly endorsed her father's campaign and made public appearances supporting and defending him. Although her view of Donald's presidential ambition wasn't favorable as a daughter, she liked his ambition and work as a citizen. This personal view wasn't in alignment with her father's. However, during that campaign, father and daughter seemed to have had a hearty talk and expression of views and understanding for Ivanka to transform from a liberal to a pro-life proud Trump Republican. Later on, she changed her voter registration from Democrat to Republican. Ivanka began actively getting involved in politics, especially in her father's campaign back in 2016. She was invited to radio stations and conventions, and all had traces of her praise and compliments toward her father, and she somehow became the campaign. This constant yet loving praise, especially during political conventions, portrayed Donald Trump in a warmer than usual light. Viewers even commented that her speeches were always unique and empowering, making her Donald Trump's greatest asset. At the time, she was working in the Trump Organization. Now more exposed to politics and becoming more influential, she resigned from her position at the Trump Organization and was appointed first daughter and advisor to the president in March 2017. This was 2 months after she had unofficially been advising Donald Trump after his inauguration. This position made her a government employee, but she was paid no salary and wasn't given any government health benefits during her tenure. Having a background in economics also earned her the position of head of the Office of Economics Initiatives and Entrepreneurship. This was the perfect position for her, as she was not only the president's daughter, but also an accomplished entrepreneur. Stay tuned, as we will discuss this later in the video. Although this was nepotism in the White House, Ivanka proved herself in office. Due to her steadfast and unapologetic defense of her father's administration, she was often compared to Julie Dixon Eisenhower. Julie Dixon was the daughter of President Richard Nixon, who was also a vocal defender of her father's administration. Ivanka, like Julie Dixon, defended her father and his administration against all allegations meted out to President Trump. Her work as an advisor to the president paid off well after she hired Julie Radford as her chief of staff. Their first travel to attend the W20 Women's Summit was the start of a change in her father's view toward women. This event was organized by the National Council of German Women's Organizations and the Association of German Women Entrepreneurs, with a vision to stabilize women's rights and empower women entrepreneurs. Ivanka spoke about women's rights at this conference and praised her father as an advocate. This was booed by many women in attendance, which showed that President Trump wasn't doing anything in favor or regard for women's rights. Ivanka took it upon herself to make these changes early, and that same month in July, she attended the G20 summit in Hamburg, Germany, with President Trump. She launched the Women Entrepreneurs Finance Initiative to advance women's entrepreneurship there. Since then, she has led the U.S. delegation to several countries in global support of women's entrepreneurship. 2 years later, to advocate for changes in laws to allow women to participate freely in the economy, Ivanka visited countries receiving U.S. development assistance, such as Ethiopia, Ivory Coast, Morocco, and Colombia, advancing her Women's Global Development and Prosperity Initiative. This initiative aimed to increase access to vocational training, capital, and networks for women in the workforce, and remove limits on women's economic participation. This initiative was often not acceptable to many, especially the hisses of Congress, who attempted to get involved in the initiative by systemizing it all to no avail. In 2019, Ivanka backed a bill to fund paid family and medical leave for federal employees, which was later passed that same year. However, after an audit, it was concluded that Ivanka's initiative, which had spent $265 million a year of taxes on 19 women's empowerment projects, had failed to target the money toward projects related to women's empowerment. Previously, President Trump had explained that human trafficking was the greatest infringement of human rights. Like her father, she has also joined in combating this issue. She organized a human trafficking summit at the White House, where President Trump signed an executive order that expanded his domestic policy office with a new position solely focused on combating human trafficking in the United States of America. This awareness has issued grants aid for the victims of human trafficking. Although Ivanka served as an advisor to the president, she retained ownership of businesses. This drew criticism from government ethics experts, who explained that it has created conflicts of interest. So, in 2021, she resigned from office and concentrated on her businesses and family. Many argued that her resignation stemmed from the conflicts of interest caused by her ownership of businesses even after she was appointed. However, Ivanka explained that she intended to spend more quality time with family and live a peaceful and quieter life, which was hardly possible when she was in office. This showed how she cherished her family. Now the question is, how did she manage to find love despite being engrossed in helping her father's political mission? Who is more important to her than her position as advisor to the President of the United States? Let's find out. The perfect match made. Ivanka and Jared Kushner, a real estate mogul, first met each other in 2007 through mutual friends. They were both 25 years old when their friends set them up. Ivanka and Jared met for a business lunch to discuss real estate so they could work together. Their friends thought their interest would be transactional as they were both in their respective businesses. But things took another turn when the duo found out that they shared common interests and ambitions. After their first meeting, they continued having lunch and dinner dates, and within a few months, they were in a love relationship. After dating for a year, they broke up because of their differences in religion and their respective parents' unacceptance. Ivanka and Jared, however, rekindled their love after a few months. This time, they accepted their differences and married in 2009. Their wedding was lavish yet private, with 500 guests attending the Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, New Jersey. A Jewish ceremony was also held privately. To many people's surprise, Ivanka converted to Judaism, as Jared was Orthodox. Ivanka said her conversion to Judaism was one of the best and most personal decisions she has ever made. She posits that observing the Sabbath became a way to connect more with her family away from her digital life. It has been an adventurous journey for her, especially with her eating habits. But it is also a self-fulfilling one. From Friday to Saturday every week, they switch off their phones, make dinners, play with their children, and go on walks. Their relationship and marriage weren't surprising to many as they suited each other. They are both from famous real estate families, attended Ivy League schools, became big shots in their father's companies, and showed themselves to be exceptionally ambitious at a young age. Ivanka and Jared are blessed with 3 children. Arabella Rose, born in 2011. 2 years later, Ivanka gave birth to their first son, Joseph Frederick. Afterward, in 2016, they welcomed their youngest child and second son, Theodore James. Motherhood for her 3 children was different after every childbirth. When Arabella Rose was born, Ivanka was nervous about everything. She was nervous that she would break her or drop her. This wasn't the case after Joseph was born. It was reduced to an extent. However, with Theodore's birth, Ivanka was too busy chasing her other toddlers around to have time to be nervous. Ivanka moved her family to Washington, D.C. when her father became president during his first term. They became the president's senior advisors there and joined him throughout his campaign in 2016. They traveled with him across the country and promoted his campaign at the Republican National Convention. However, after President Joe Biden took over the presidency in January 2021, Ivanka and Jared took a step back from their political careers. They settled in Surfside, Florida, a quiet town south of Miami. They've largely avoided the spotlight since then and have cultivated their private social circle in the town, which has a population of 6,000. They took up more athletic activities like surfing, golfing, and tennis. Now they spend more time with each other and their children, which is something neither of them could do as much as they wanted to when they lived in Washington, D.C. In 2021, the couple bought land in Florida and began renovations. Indian Creek, an island close to Miami Beach, is an extremely exclusive area in Florida. Popularly known as Millionaire's Bunker, it is secluded and characterized by 41 waterfront mansions overlooking Biscayne Bay. Residents can only access this area past high security. Some other multi-millionaires who live on this island include Jeff Bezos, Julio Iglesias, and Adriana Lima. On this island, Ivanka and Jared built their $24 million mansion with 6 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, a sun deck, a large backyard, a spa cabana, outdoor showers, saunas, and a pool, among others. Their home has a bridge to a private dock where the family can practice many of their water sports, which they have been involved in since their move-in. 43-year-old Ivanka has been a consistent fan of wellness, so a home gym was also constructed in this mansion. Her consistency in exercise is one of the secrets to her youthful appearance and healthy eating habits. She has also encouraged her clients to construct personal gym rooms or spaces in their homes to keep fit rather than make trips to gym houses between times. Let us find out more about the real estate mogul. Don't go anywhere. Real estate prodigy. Jared Corey Kushner was born on the 10th of January 1981 in Livingstone's, New Jersey. He was born to Cyril and Charles Kushner, a real estate developer and convicted felon. Charles was friends with Bill and Hillary Clinton, which exposed Jared to government and politics, eventually graduating with honors in government at Harvard University. Jared was raised in a modern Orthodox Jewish family, and his primary education was in a Jewish school until his admission into Harvard. He was an active student at Harvard University. He joined the Fly Club and supported the campus Chabad House, a dynasty in Hasidic Judaism. He also bought and sold real estate in Somerville as a vice president of Somerville Building Associates. After he graduated, he enrolled in the School of Law and Business at New York University and graduated with both degrees in 2007. Although he worked a few times in his father's company, the Kushner Companies, he didn't go into business fully until his father's arrest in 2005. He took a much bigger role in the family real estate business and expanded it. 2 years after his father's arrest, Kushner Companies, under the leadership of Jared, purchased an office building for $1.8 billion, which was mostly borrowed. Unfortunately, a property crash reduced the cash flow generated, making it impossible to cover their debt service. So, Kushner Companies were forced to sell a controlling stake to the Carlyle Group and Stanley Chera. Then, they brought in Vornado Realty Trust as a 50% equity partner in the office building ownership at 666 Fifth Avenue. They gradually made progress, growing and expanding the Kushner Companies despite their losses during his father's conviction. From 2013 to 2014, Kushner Companies acquired more than 11,000 units throughout New York, New Jersey, and Baltimore. Then, 1 year later, he acquired 50.1% stake in the Times Square building from Africa Israel Investments Limited for $295 million. He also co-founded Cadre with his brother Joshua and Ryan Williams, an American technology entrepreneur. Cadre is an online real estate investment platform. This startup was financed by several millionaires and businessmen. With Cadre's reputation and success, Jared owns a stake in Cadre, which is estimated at $250 million. He also purchased the New York Observer, a weekly New York City newspaper. He won the bid with the money he earned during college when he closed deals on residential buildings he purchased in Somerville, Massachusetts. However, his family members supported his investments. After purchasing the Observer, its online presence increased, eventually becoming the Observer Media Group today. With little experience and knowledge of journalism, he clashed with the editor-in-chief, Peter Kaplan, finally leading to Kaplan's resignation. Although Jared employed other editor-in-chiefs, They didn't stay in office for long due to their constant differences, and he hired Elizabeth Spears in 2011. Spears stayed longer than her predecessors, but left 1 year later. However, he hired another editor-in-chief. Jared has been rumored to have used The Observer to publicize against rivals in real estate. He stepped down from his role in the newspaper in 2017 to be President Trump's senior advisor, leaving the newspaper role to his brother-in-law, Joseph Meyer. He resigned from his family's real estate firm after he was appointed a senior advisor to Donald Trump. He sold some of his assets, including his stake in Thrive Capital, the 606 Fifth Avenue office building. He transferred ownership of some of his assets to his brother and to a trust overseen by his mother, rather than selling off his assets to a third party or setting up a blind trust with outside management. The New York Times reported that Jared retained most of his interest in Kushner companies. His real estate holdings and other investments are worth as much as $761 million. Jared still receives millions of dollars yearly from rent collected by his assorted real estate deals. Now, let us look at the billionaire life of Ivanka Trump. Self-made billionaire. Ivanka Trump was born to Donald Trump and the Czech-American model Ivana. She was just 9 years old when her parents separated and eventually divorced. Growing up in a wealthy family, Ivanka and her brothers had everything they could wish for, but Donald taught them to strive for independence. Her mother was a well-known model, and Ivanka also aspired to be one. So, when she attended boarding school as a teenager, she also started modeling on weekends and holidays. Later, in 1997, she was featured on the cover of 17 and in campaigns for Tommy Hilfiger, Thierry Mugler, and Versace, among many others. Aside from modeling, Ivanka has also appeared on television as a guest judge on Project Runway and Gossip Girl. However, when she attended college, she enrolled at the University of Pennsylvania to study economics and graduated with honors. She further enrolled at the Wharton School. After graduating from Wharton, she worked briefly for Forest City Ratner, a real estate firm, before joining her father's organization. She took a different path from her brothers. Taking a loan to invest in real estate, which turned out fruitful, became one of her sources of capital for her fashion ventures. As executive vice president of Trump's organization, she expanded the company's global and domestic real estate interests. Under the organization, she oversaw the $200 million conversion of a building in Washington into a 250-room luxury hotel, which opened in 2016. As a model and privileged American, Ivanka was surrounded by luxurious items. She ventured into her luxury line, Ivanka Trump Fashion Items, which included clothes, handbags, shoes, and accessories. She ventured into her startup, Ivanka Trump Fine Jewelry, partnering with Dynamic Diamond Corporation. Celebrities, including Jennifer Lopez and Rihanna, have used her luxury and fashion items, especially jewelry. Her brand became popular, earning the name Launch of the Year in 2010 Footwear News. She won several awards and became one of the most influential ladies from a young age. Her company eventually grew over $500 million in sales every year. However, her fashion line business has been on hold for years due to trademark controversies. She has closed most of her lines and hasn't dabbled in investments in a long time. Regardless, according to Celebrity Net Worth, when combined with her husband's wealth, they have a net worth of about $800 million. When she was employed at the Trump Organization, coupled with her fashion lines and company, she received a 7% cut of the wholesale revenues, earning her about $10 million annually. As of 2018, she had about $55 million in assets, excluding $3.5 million she gets from her 7.5 stakes in the Trump International Hotel in Washington, D.C. Ivanka has always advocated for women's rights and unfair limitations against women. She has led several initiatives for women's entrepreneurship and women in the economy. In 2014, she launched IvankaTrump.com and the Women Who Work campaign, which focused on young, modern professional women to provide a comprehensive lifestyle guide. She is also involved with several Jewish charities, including Chai Lifeline, which helps look after children with cancer. She also supports a United Hatzalah, to which her father, Donald Trump, has donated hundreds of thousands of dollars in the past. During the Ukraine war, she collaborated with nonprofit organizations to supply 1 million meals to Ukrainian families. Although Ivanka and Jared's wealth is second to Donald Trump's, Ivanka's assets aren't accurately known today, but she hasn't dabbled in investments since the closure of her fashion lines. She may be living in Indian Creek to seek a more peaceful life, but her recent appearance at a dinner party the night before her father's inauguration screamed more luxury. She wore a custom Oscar de la Renta dress embroidered with crystals and pearls and paired it with diamond and platinum pear-shaped drop earrings from Laviev, an Israeli diamond magnate. The Laviev jewelry is an 18.8 carat earring worth $900,000 on retail. At the inauguration ball, Ivanka wore 2 more pieces from Laviev, a diamond necklace of 50 carats and 10-carat diamond cluster earrings. The necklaces sold at $180,000 and the earrings are $60,000. From the dinner party to the inauguration ball, Ivanka's pieces of jewelry totaled more than $1.1 million in value. Her purchase of luxury goods, especially jewelry, shows her love for diamond pieces. How else can you define luxury? Ivanka loves luxury, and it's written all over her. Despite being a billionaire's daughter, Ivanka Trump has coined her niche and made a name for herself. Knowing how she exudes luxury, let's look at the Trump family's net worth, proving that an apple doesn't fall far from the tree. The Trump's net worth. As of mid-January 2025, Donald Trump's net worth is currently estimated at $6.8 billion. Donald has claimed a much higher net worth, but after the launch of Dollar Trump, Trump's cryptocurrency, Axios estimates his net worth to be $63.8 billion. He received gifts, loans, and inheritances from his father, a real estate developer and businessman. Donald Trump's primary business has been real estate ventures, including hotels, casinos, and golf courses. He also made money from Trump-branded products, including neckties, steaks, and urine tests. Additionally, he owns 19 golf courses, mansions, and wineries. Although his vast wealth fluctuates a lot, it has been from his real estate holdings, especially Trump Organization, an international real estate conglomerate. Trump Organization suffered some setbacks in recent years as interest rates increased. Shoppers also moved online, and office workers headed home to work remotely. Nonetheless, he has a stake in the social media firm Trump Media and Technology Group Corp. As of 2024, he owned about 114.75 million shares in the company, which earned him $34 million. Trump has often lied about his net worth to make him look more creditworthy, but from the time he announced his candidacy in 2016, his net worth was around $450 billion, according to Forbes. After he became president, it dropped to $2.1 billion and later increased to $3 billion. His net worth fluctuates constantly, so his exact net worth isn't known, as he also lies about his wealth sometimes. However, his influx of fortune is enough to make him one of the world's 25 richest people. Donald's third wife, Melania Trump, owned jewelry brands and skincare lines. She was a supermodel who had graced the covers of Vogue, Vanity Fair, and InStyle. Her net worth today is around $50 million, having renegotiated her marriage contract with Donald to protect her finances, lest Donald's fortune suffers more setbacks. Meanwhile, Donald Trump Jr., Donald Trump's first son and child with his first wife, Ivana, is a business person and television personality. He is also the executive vice president of the Trump Organization, with a net worth of $350 million. Although he doesn't own shares in his father's vast companies, he owns a 7.5% stake in Trump's International Hotel, which earns him about $35 million in salary. Eric Trump, the youngest child of Donald Trump's first marriage, keeps a low profile. Unlike his siblings, his net worth is also estimated at $350 million. He is also the founder of the Eric Trump Foundation, which raises funds for St. Jude Children's Hospital. Tiffany Trump, the only child from Donald's second marriage to Marla Maples, has a net worth of $10 million. Lastly, Barron Trump, born to Melania and Donald Trump, is the youngest of Donald Trump's 5 children. His net worth remains unknown, but given his inheritance, he is believed to be a millionaire. What are your thoughts on Ivanka's conversion to Judaism and her billionaire lifestyle? Leave your opinions in the comments. Feel free to browse through the videos displayed on the screen. Before you go, remember to like and subscribe to this channel.